I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Guys, we are back!
Yeah.
Hey, it's Love and Hip Hop Miami, hey. Guys, we are back with another episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami After Show Season 3, Episode 3, entitled Trick or Treat. We have a jam-packed show. We have to talk about Trina versus Julian. We have to talk about Nikki. Who's on Team Nikki? Who's on Team Joy? We've been introduced to Hood Brad, and Briscoe is clearly the ladies' man these days. It's just a lot to talk about. And of course, we have our special segment. We have news and gossip. But first, what are you guys' overall thoughts? No, first, I have to introduce my panel. Before we talk about overall thoughts, who am I talking to? To the left of me, Alfee.
Yes.
Talk to him.
My fam here, Alfee, Alfred, Nolan, Thomas, too. We here. We doing it. I'm very happy.
Yes.
My sisters.
And next to Alfee.
It's your girl Jeroslyn on the 1s and 2s and 3s.
Yes.
And we have so much energy because they give us Coca-Cola before the show.
We're always pretty lit off of that
Yes.
that caffeine high.
Yes.
But okay, overall thoughts. What did you guys think about this episode?
It's turning up, and I'm
It's
so here
turning
for it.
up.
Ooh, it's getting juicy. That's what we was waiting for.
Surprisingly, a lot. A lot of stuff in this one. I was like, oh, they got a certain pace with the drama and the flow, and then all of a sudden I was like, chop, 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 chop.
Literally.
Welcome to Miami.
Yeah.
Day in the hood. You never know what's going on around your block, around your city, your family, your friends, everything.
And you're
goes
from Miami,
down.
right?
I am. That's why I loved it. I
Yes,
was
the whole time
a
he was like,
little
this is
stressed
Miami.
out because I was
Yeah.
like, man, that's very possible in your life.
And even when they did just like a little transition shot of the girl twerking on the sidewalk, that's
It was
Miami.
just like literally, is that what it is? Like,
Yeah. Is that pretty much what it's like?
Depends on the era. You know, if
The
you're
era.
around Luke era, you never know what you're going to get. It goes into DJ Uncle Al. There's a lot of extras in Miami. We got Pitbull, you know what I'm saying?
we got them all. Well, we got them all on this show too. I thought that it was a lot. We kind of got like confirmation of things, but they
Right.
also sprinkled in some things that we can expect coming up.
Oof.
But the first thing I want to talk about and that I was super excited to get into was finally this confrontation between Trina and Julian. We've been needing this since day one because there's been so much animosity built up between him and Trina. Trina saying that he didn't apologize about the passing of her mother. This whole, whatever this is, did Julian take the money from her or was it his money? We finally got that confirmation, and according to Julian, it was never her money. It was always his money. But she was led, in Trina's mind, she was led to believe that it was her money, but the contract says otherwise. So getting into that, whose side are you on? Who do you believe? What do you think? Why do you think this is happening or unfolding?
I'm blaming both of them because it's still not adding up to why producers weren't paid. If you're the manager, regardless, it's your job to kind of stay on top of these things and make sure a business is handled. It's not the talent's job is to be the talent. So you can't take the $300,000. Mind you, last season we already saw that Trina felt like he was abandoning her and just giving so much attention to Amara. So now the next season we're hearing this story. It just doesn't seem that Julian was doing his part in being a proper manager. And maybe Trina could have also done her part with making sure that she was managing her funds properly and making sure all ends were tied.
That's where I've kind of been at with it. Like, y'all know I'm Team Trina. I've been riding for my girl. But this episode, I was kind of just like, how you let that slip through the cracks?
Right.
It's like you gotta, for you to be in the game for so long, like, I don't know, you also have to be responsible. You also need to be reading these contracts. And I'm not saying that I don't know if she did or not, but from watching outside looking in, it seems like she was not, crossing her Q's, whatever you call it, making sure it was all good on her end so that she's safe.
That plays into the fact that, one, ladies and gentlemen, if you're an artist, you are also human. You are also a person that gets exhausted. You go through things. I think that was a very key element. Like,
the emotional aspect.
it wasn't even an emotional aspect. It's just the fact that you have to take an accountability that when things happen, I felt a certain type of way because, I'm homegrown, Miami. I'm definitely, super pro Trina, and in particularly the situation, and I've gone through loss in my life that has affected how I look at things, and that's why it's a situation where it can play into the facts still aren't necessarily there. Even after that conversation, there was a lot of, you know what I did, and you know what you're talking about type stuff.
But you're saying her emotions overpowered.
Well, it played into the situation of why this might not be Julian's fault, because he addressed when they met that fact that he didn't acknowledge, or reach out because her mom died, and he was like, there was so much going on, and that's
well,
respectful.
they had already had tension. That's what he's saying.
If you have tension and you love somebody, you're not going to want to add to their life. So there's a possibility.
That's what we talked about outside.
That's not true.
Would you put, regardless of a beef that you have with someone, do you think it's respectful to still reach out?
Yes, and I've done it, and I have rekindled friendships and relationships because I put my pride aside and I just think just be empathetic in that situation. Like, dang, I know this person lost someone, regardless of what we going through. This was once someone I cared for, I knew, I had a relationship with. What does it take for me to just reach out and send my condolences?
All you have to simply say is, you could have just said, I'm sorry for your loss.
But
boom.
wait.
That's the text message.
And
that
way,
a text message.
she can never hold it over your head. Because even if you reach out and they don't respond, at least on your part,
you did what you had to do.
And that's facts. Also, though, it's very hard when somebody died to get, the courage, the gonads, if you say, to be able to, if you're going through a 300K situation with somebody, to feel not disrespectful by being like, hey, sorry your mom died, but you're right. That's why I gave both sides a little credit, only because it's so intense. Like, it'd be one thing if it was just not that. It's like your mom died, and if it's that big of a situation between, sometimes you give people time in order to process something, to deal with something else. So
okay, I guess that's
I think he had a bit of respect in that situation, and in the sense of, again, both of them didn't divulge all the information, and them being in that situation where it's so intense, it looked like a movie off of Bad Boys.
Low-key.
Scene off of Bad Boys situation. I thought I was going to get all the juice.
Right.
But it was still kind of just like, this is the contract, blah, blah, blah.
And I did want to add, season after season of Love and Hip Hop Miami, Trina is constantly having issues with her team. So I don't want to completely place the blame on Julian, because what I've been gathering from last season to season before that is that Trina could do a much better job with vetting her staff and hiring more qualified people, and not just my cousin or my friend, or they come around.
That's weird, because that's true.
Remember what happened with the assistant? It's just like a hot mess. So it's like time, like she has to use this time to really reevaluate her brand, where she wants to take herself, and the people that she's bringing with her, and if they're worthy to be there.
So because you're so right, and at the same time, I really respected how she handled traumatic situations.
Oh, for sure.
And she's so good with being angry and not shooting the gun. But that also goes to don't put yourself in that situation. So it's like, I don't know. I think both are very important.
Both are important, but at the end of the day, you as an artist, as someone who's been a vet in this industry, you know the game, and you just have to always be on your Q's and P's, toes, whatever. And you have
to get your letters.
I know, I got to get them together. I'm talking about curly Q, crossing out.
Be on your Q's.
Y'all know what I meant.
And before we go to the next topic, definitely make sure you continue to follow us, like us. We need those 5 stars. We appreciate you guys for making us the ESPN of TV talk.
That was
thank
great.
You. This is why we're here. We're here to enjoy our shows, and also give love to you for giving love to us. Comment, like, all that stuff.
All of it.
All of
5
that.
stars on
5 stars
and everything.
Message. You missed your message. Message came up. Okay.
I
like that. Yes. So, okay. Speaking of just Trina and adding people to our team, we were kind of introduced to Hood Brat. And this is another person that she's kind of grown a liking to, and she's added her on tour and things like that. I think Hood Brat is a good artist.
Yeah.
What about you? I think she's popping.
Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, it's just... Okay, let's just be honest.
Okay.
Who do we ever really see from, especially Love and Hip Hop, that's even a new artist that we didn't really know, come out and really blow, aside from Cardi B. Who else?
Michelle.
Michelle. Well, she wasn't a rapper, but
and her music. She's not. I'm sorry.
Okay, I
like K Michelle,
but she used the platform and she got big off of it. So,
but I'm just hoping that Hood Brat can break
be that next thing. Yeah, I feel like she can though. Curse. She gives me a vibe. She gives me like City Girls, but revamped.
We already got City Girl, so Hood Brat Girl.
Well, she got to come up with something.
All I'm saying, she from the Poking Beans. That's right around from the Martin Luther King parade. You know what they'll talk about. That's right from my grandma. You know, talking about Martin Luther King Elementary. My dad used to work
I'm excited to see how she unfolds, and she's also a good friend of Nicki. But let's go ahead and get into this Nicki thing. So we got to talk about Lil Miss Nicki, this triangle between Trick Daddy and Joy. Who is Team Nicki? Who is Team Joy? So as you guys saw, Joy went by to have dinner with Trick Daddy, and she thought it was a one-on-one thing, and it ended up being a whole little like, I don't know. To me, it looks like a mom-dad arguing with their child kind of situation.
That was hilarious.
And long story short, Nicki is feeling like that people are ganging up on her, and instead of owning up to what she did at that audition, she's making it seem like Trina and Joy and everyone is pushing everyone against her, and it's just her. How did you guys feel about that whole little situation?
I feel it's one of those situations where you got to figure out if you're in a situation where you need to play your part or want to play your part. I think coming into such a murky kind of, you could tell that Joy and Trick got something real there because she's doing some weird fighting for him that I didn't expect. He's doing some weird attachment for her.
Even when she came in the house and he was just like, she was like, where Nicki at? Like, first of all, we not together.
Right. And granted, I'm not Team Nicki. But if I'm dating you and you want to confront me with your ex-wife to try to tell me about myself, it's over.
It's over. For sure. It's over. But I don't know. I think Joy was kind of a little messy in the situation also.
That's what I was like.
She was so, I don't know. Like,
Come on now, you know
how she
what it
sprinkled
is.
in that Briscoe situation. I don't know if she's salty because she finally felt like, this is my breakaway from Trick. Then come to find out that the person that I'm talking to was actually talking to the girl
kind of show
that is now with my ex-husband. Like, what
Are we talking
the heck?
real or are we talking
I think it's obvious that Trick and Joy are still in love. And the only reason they're not together is because Trick just can't be faithful.
No, they might not see. I mean, it's weird because you get really established and attached to somebody, and it's beyond love at that point. It's like, familiarity. It's
which is why he took her side.
Been around she knows who I am, like in the trenches stuff, and he might be fine with her being with the right man because I feel like there's an element of, I'm not trying to necessarily keep you forever, but I'd be darned if you be with somebody that I don't approve of. And I think it's the same way with her, which makes her care enough to like, you're not going to be with this one. Out of all the people you could be with, I'm not letting you sell it out with that. And I think it's true heartfelt. It's true deeper than rap family type ties.
But also now, to take aside the marriage, she is Trina's cousin.
Yes.
She was at the showcase. She saw it firsthand what happened. Trina was, Trick Daddy was only getting a secondhand word from people. So aside from the fact that they were married, they are the two right people to confront her about this. And she was still very close-minded, saying, I'm not a battle rapper. It's not a battle rap.
It has nothing to do with a battle rap. It wasn't a battle rap.
They perform one more song.
Literally, that was it. They didn't say drop the music. Like, look.
Bars.
Like, nobody said that.
Which is another thing, to you young women out there.
Here he goes with his
finding
little sprinkle.
your way through the streams of life. If you are with someone established and there's some type of hierarchy, kind of flow with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be against the grain. She wanted her stage too early. Oh, this is swagger.
Oh, this is a vibe.
You wanted the lights too early.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
Lord.
If she played it right, I think everything would have kind of fit, and she probably could have made a nice situation for herself. I think there's a place for a girl like her who doesn't have a mouth, and Joy can be off, and Trick can be there, and they all eat food and go to different eating situations.
Okay, I don't know what we talking about.
But just to confirm, because they broke up. He kicked her out. They're over.
He kicked her out. They're over. And this is where it kind of got me all confused about Miss Hood Brat, because
you love Hood Brat. I'm so done.
No. I love Hood Brat, but I'm trying to figure out, you know, we were introduced to her, but how she's so connected with everybody.
Right.
Whose side you on, girl? Because she went and ran and told her, and she like, well, you need to confront Briscoe, blah, blah. Then we get to the thing, and she, I love Trina. And then sitting next to Trina, I'm like, I don't know about this situation.
And you peep that, and that's always people you have to watch out for.
Yes.
The ones who want to be friendly with everybody. It's not about that you got to pick a side. It's just that you can't be so friendly with everybody that you're telling everybody the next business
or just what to do. Like, I don't know. I feel like she's digging herself into a hole and does not realize it, because she getting ready to go on tour with Trina.
We'll see.
Trina already don't mess with Nikki.
Exactly.
And then it's this drama with Joy and Briscoe.
You don't think your name is going to come up when it comes down to it? Like, oh, well, Hood Brat told me, and Hood Brat is like, girl, you're really setting yourself up for disaster.
Yes.
Well, if it plays right, it might play it to her favor, because I'm thinking if she puts Nikki in a situation where she has to deal with Briscoe, and it's just like, keep it 100, I feel that was a weird G move, because with the way things may play out, I feel like she could have saving grace. I'm just telling you, being a homeboy, being in some stuff, and then being like, I'm just saying, if you ain't gonna check that person, then whatever they say is true. And then I think a lot of things unfolded with her trying to check her. I'm just, well, you know.
We'll see.
I'm telling you.
We'll see, but I think she needs to tread lightly on these situations and just focus on doing her thing for Trina's tour.
Okay.
Because
focus on your
Little
career.
Miss Nikki is not on the tour.
Don't focus on
if
being
anything,
friends.
I would be trying to stay
Focus on the
in
bag,
Trina's good graces.
not all your friends.
Yes.
Fake friends.
But speaking of this bag and Nikki and the drama in Briscoe, we got to start talking about Briscoe in this party. So much tea dropped at this party.
Yeah.
So we see Nikki actually confronts Briscoe in front of Joy, and Joy is all tongue-tied. Well, you know, I thought that's what you was inferring. Girl, no, you was trying to be messy.
You got called out.
So we see that, and then we got to talk about this fight between Amara and Shay.
Yeah.
Shay will not let up.
And it's like, okay, for one, I think I've always thought she was gorgeous since Flavor of Love. But girl, we know you're like 42 years old.
Exactly.
Why are you still being petty and mad at Amara for just being the bigger person?
For being the bigger person. And then in the end, they didn't even end up being friends. But it's just the principle. She was just kind of hashing it out. Like, if you were in that situation, how would you handle that? Like, do you think Amara is in the wrong? Or, like, do you think she was disloyal to Shay for what she did?
I think it's a very complicated situation, because when you're in the business and when you in like some real friendship, family stuff, those are two different lanes. I think Amara's mindset is definitely in more business than not. And even with who she's trying to align herself with, even with her and her relationship with EJ, the things she cares about, with Julian, she cares about with anybody, seems to align with her going to some kind of projection of, I want to be the next Beyonce, Latina, Black, African, all that kind of stuff. I feel with Shay, she is wrong and right, because she's right for the real rider friend you need from the hood that got your
you
back,
don't cross,
that don't
you know.
da 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 da.
But you know that's not Amara.
She's super wrong
I'm so done.
for the person who you need on your side that has that kind of feeling of I got your back, but has the couth to know, oh, you're doing business. Oh, you're trying to function in these streets.
Exactly.
Or you just trying to have peace. Like,
One, you're trying to have
which
peace.
is doing what you need to do to get where you need to be, which has a lot of layers of finesse that a lot of real ride or diers,
they don't care about that. It's just period.
No, they care. They just don't know how to get. And that's why she's in a situation where I feel for her, because she don't get what's going on. and she don't get the undertones that will allow her and
But
Amara
she
to be the
might
closest
get
thing
it
ever.
when Amara then left her in the dust,
And
career-wise.
it's later.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
Because you gotta learn how to separate business from your personal feelings. 1, 2. What JoJo did, JoJo disrespected both of them last season, but of course she disrespected Shay on a whole nother level by dating, her ex. But why does now Amara have to fight your battles? She doesn't have to.
She doesn't have to.
She's grown, and at the same time, you never know if Amara being cool with JoJo, it could possibly lead to bringing those two back together, because there's no reason to have more enemies. You guys could agree we're not going to really vibe together, but we could at least respect each other or
Exactly.
be cordial.
Yeah, and I respect you could choose the enemies you so desire, but even when you have those people that you feel are the opposition, there's a way for you not to affect other people who have nothing to do with your situation. And I think that is the major part. I can have a problem with you. We could be on this show, and this could be my friend, and I don't disrespect the fact that y'all cool and we're not, and that we are, if we know how to be adults. I feel it's
we
form
know
of
who
immaturity.
Shay is really mad at, and she's mad at herself. You were madly in love with Pleasure P. He didn't want you, never wanted you,
City boy.
started dating JoJo Angry Bird.
Rain on you.
You got mad. Then now, a year later, you're still mad because your friend Amara, and you guys are the cutest friends together, your friend Amara is just being cordial to JoJo.
But
Well,
and
JoJo
she
was
and,
fine
and
for
was
trying
her.
to date Pleasure. You gotta put
Yeah,
that in
but
there,
and then
too.
Amara and JoJo were best friends. They were really close even
Yeah,
before the
it's like
show.
you
So
can't
it's just
just
a
throw that
hard.
away.
It's
Right.
a hard thing, and I just think they need to be adults about it, and she just needs to. She needs to just move on. And if this is her friend, trust that, regardless of what you got going on, I know that you're going to be loyal to me.
Shade, I just love Shay's shade.
Yeah.
She's really funny when she throws shade,
She
so
is.
I'm always
and
here for it.
I'm always here for it, too.
She's gonna be
and
the perfect grandma.
Of course,
Yeah.
just.
Oh, yeah.
And then, Amara and, MJ and Julian, this whole fight.
First of all, MJ just wants some kids.
He just wants some kids. That was okay. I'm thinking like, oh, he taking up for his
Yeah.
woman. He like, look, you need to get my girl on track. You need to do
Okay.
this. You're not
She
finna
needs to
run
hit
her over
record.
like how
Right.
you did Trina. And then because I want some kids. He said, no kids, bruh. And that's just period. Like, we're trying to elevate her career and you're trying to speed up the process so you can have some kids.
Wait, let me just say what I have to say.
Kids do make stars more popular. Let's just.
Well,
They do.
Well, I wasn't even on that, but in the sense of, I wasn't knocking him for being a life portion of her aspect of living, because Julian's right in a way. And I think Amara's right in a way on how she's not ready for it and stuff. But when you meet the right person, they should want to have kids with you. They should want
But
that
she didn't
side.
say she didn't want
no, it's
to.
not. But and that's why I'm like, he wasn't forcing it, but he was saying that matters. That's important. There's a holistic way of life, which if you're focused on your career, sometimes you get with people because they bring that other aspect to it. So I wasn't like, oh, he's just only selfish for himself. It's just that's something that could possibly super matter.
But I feel like it was not his place to. If it's
It
one thing
wasn't.
to go in
And it
to be
wasn't.
like, I'm protecting my woman, making sure you're putting her career on track. But it's a whole different thing to start speaking for her and her eggs in her belly
I give you that.
and going, well, we want kids. No,
And
like,
then he also brought up a situation that she wanted for them to keep between them.
yeah, the bedroom
However,
thing.
that is where I draw the line.
Right, because in his defense, Amara, you know damn well you can't tell your man that another man came at you like that and he's not going to say
and he's
something.
not going to say something. I'm surprised he didn't try to fight him.
Okay.
Let's be
Well,
clear.
I-
That could have escalated very quickly.
Again, that goes to how important it is if you're with somebody in the entertainment industry, whether you're the star or they're the star, or you're in a situation where it's one's the star and the other one person's, for the most part, a regular person. I feel it's not that things come with that, and I feel like he held it down and did such a great job of how you handle a situation like that. You don't just pop off because you're not trying to be with
They
somebody
did kind of
and
start popping off.
no,
They
well,
did.
I, mean,
I was expecting
you
that little
stand your
red hat.
ground. I
Yes,
mean, he's a
the
man.
little-
So, well, not even he's a man. He's a person who cares about keeping their own, and that could be a woman, that could be anything. It's more of a situation where you know that there may be things that come against what y'all have going on, if they're trying to really make it. And if that happens, you handle it like an adult. Like, you talk about it. Even if you're going to be boisterous, you don't put your hands on that person.
Unless I'm tipsy, and I'm sure they all were.
Which makes more of a sense why I thought this was such a great situation of education.
Okay. Well, guys, we love this show. Clearly, we do. We don't ever have time for news or special segments, but we're gonna get it together because it was a lot to talk about.
And next week is only gonna get more.
So guys, bear with us. Okay, we go in the comments. Talk about, are you Team Nikki, Joy? Let's talk about Briscoe. Let's talk about MJ, Julian. We want to talk about it all. And in the meantime, where can we find you guys on social?
Well, you can find me everywhere, Alfred Nolan Thomas 2.
At Jeroslyn Diva, Jeroslyn Diva.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at _Tyra Prue. See you guys next week. It's gonna be lit.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.